In this lesson, I will show you how the Boundary Boss Base tool works. The Boundary Boss Base tool is an extrusion tool with which we can create complicated solid objects. You could say that this tool is a combination of the Swept Boss Base and the Lofted Boss Base tools. As we have already learned from previous lessons, with the Swept Boss Base tool, we need a profile and a guide. While with the Lofted Boss Base tool, we need at least 2 profiles, and we can also add a guide, but this is optional. However, to use the Boundary Boss Base tool, we need only 1 profile and at least 1 guide, or 2 profiles without guides. So we need to create 2 perpendicular sketches. On the first sketch, I will draw the profile, and on the second sketch, I will draw the guide curves. So I will select the front plane, and I will click on the sketch icon. I will activate the circle tool from the sketch ribbon, and I will create a circle whose center will be collinear with the y-axis. Then I will change its radius to 15 mm. So I will type the number 15 in the radius field of the Property Manager palette, and I will click on the check mark to create the circle. Then I will exit the sketch. Now that I have already created the profile, I need to create the guide curves. So I will go to the Feature Manager design tree, and I will select the plane that is perpendicular to the plane I created the circle. So I will select the right plane, and I will click on the sketch icon to create a new sketch on it. Now we'll activate the Line tool from the sketch ribbon, and I will draw a horizontal line which will be collinear with the upper quadrant of the circle. To achieve that, I will hover the cursor over the circle, and then I will use the reference line that appears. Once the reference line appears, I will move the cursor to the left, and I will click to specify the start point of the line. Then I will move even further on the left, and I will click again to create a horizontal line. Then I will hover the cursor over the end point of the line, and once the symbol of the circle appears, I will move the cursor downward to create an arc. Now I will right-click and then click on Select to deactivate the tool. At this point, I have to ensure that the arc is tangent to the horizontal line. If the symbol of tangency does not appear, then I will select the arc and the line simultaneously, and I will add the tangent relation which can be found in the Property Manager palette. Now I have to add another relation, so the horizontal line will intersect with the circle. To achieve that, I will orbit the view, and I will select the endpoint of the line and the circle simultaneously. With these 2 objects selected, I will add the pairs relation which can be found in the Property Manager palette. Notice that the horizontal line was extended, so now it intersects with the circle. I will go back to the right view by clicking on the Previous View button. Once I do this, I will reactivate the Line tool, and using the reference lines, I will create another horizontal line which will be collinear with the lower quadrant of the circle. Next, I will hover the cursor over the endpoint of the horizontal line I just created until the circle's symbol appears. Once the symbol appears, I will move downward to create another arc. Then I will create a vertical line, and I will deactivate the Line tool. I will select the arc and the vertical line, and I will add the tangent relation which can be found in the Property Manager palette. Now I will select only the vertical line, and I will convert this line to a construction line. To achieve that, I will activate the For Construction option from the Property Manager palette. Now I will orbit the view again, and I will select the endpoint of the horizontal line and the circle simultaneously. Again, I will add the purse relation, which can be found in the Property Manager palette. Now that I have already created the guide curves, I will exit the sketch and I will go back to the Features ribbon. Then I will activate the Boundary Boss Base tool. A message appears informing me that to use this tool, at least 2 sketches must have been created. I will click OK, and once I do, the tool activates, and so does the Property Manager palette. With the Direction 1 field active, I will select the circle. Once I do, the sketch's name is automatically added in the Direction 1 field. Next, I will activate the Direction 2 field, and I will select the upper line first and then the tangent arc. I will click on the check mark, which appears next to the cursor, and once I do, a preview of the solid object appears. Now I will select the other line and arc, and I will click on the check mark next to the cursor again. Notice how the preview changes. At this point, I should mention that in the Boundary Boss Base tool, there is also the Thin Feature option, which we have encountered in all the other extrusion tools. So in this lesson, I won't elaborate on this option. Now I'm ready to click on the check mark to see the final result. Notice how fascinating the result is. So I suggest that you use this tool to create your own complicated objects.